What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. Welcome to Overwatch, the new hero-based first-person shooter created by Blizzard Entertainment. Overwatch is set in a futuristic Earth where robots called the Omnics took over the world, but soon after a task force called the Overwatch fought back and ended the war in favor of mankind. The Overwatch has since disbanded, and for the last 5 years the world has started to become darker with new threats emerging. The heroes have to band together again like they did once before in order to defeat them. In-game, you and your team take on the role of the old heroes, the new villains, or both at the same time as you battle it out on 6 vs 6 maps to fight for objectives to decide the winner. This is a beginner's guide, but we'll cover a lot of information, so we'll have timestamps in the description if you want to skip to a certain point or rewatch any section to make sure you get the information. Let's get started. At the time of making this video, there are currently 18 characters in the game, but Blizzard plans to add more. Every hero has a basic attack, 2 basic abilities, and an ultimate ability. Some characters may have secondary attacks or passives as well. Basic attacks are activated through your left click, with your right click activating your secondary attack if you have one, and have varying attack and reload speeds depending on your hero. Your basic abilities can be activated through Shift and E respectively, and tend to have short cooldowns. The ultimate ability is activated through Q and becomes available after charging it up through dealing damage, killing opponents, and supporting allies. Ultimate abilities are quite powerful, so they tend to take a bit of time to charge up, but the charge does persist through death. Among the characters, each hero falls into one of the 4 roles in the game. There are tank heroes who are very durable but tend to have short range. There's offense heroes who have high damage and mobility but are easily punished. There's also defense heroes who are great at holding a location and stopping enemies with high range and great damage, but lack the mobility of an offense hero. And lastly, we have support heroes who will buff or heal your allies and can bring some unique advantages that shouldn't be underestimated. That's it for the heroes. Up next are the maps. At the time of making this video, Overwatch has 7 maps that you can play on that fall into 3 types. There's payload maps, point capture maps, and hybrid maps that are a combination of the first 2. Every map places one team on permanent offense and one team on permanent defense, so you always know the role your team will have going into the game in order to make your game plan. Additionally, the team on defense will have extra time at the beginning of the match to set up their defenses. On a payload map, the attacking team's goal is to escort a payload to a delivery point, while the defending team tries to halt their progress until time runs out. On a point capture map, the attackers try to capture a series of objectives, while the defending team must maintain control and defend them. The hybrid map starts out as a capture point, but after the first point is captured, it becomes a payload for the offense team to escort. No matter what type of map you're on, the average game time should be around 10 to 15 minutes or so. And also, each map does have health packs scattered throughout to give your hero a nice boost. Now that we've covered the maps, let's take a look at the UI. At the bottom left, you have your character portrait and health. The health bar and numbers indicate your current and max health. Underneath is your fire bar, which measures how well you're performing and displays to your enemies that you're a large threat. In the bottom, at the middle, we see a meter for the charge on your ultimate ability. It will glow with flames once your ultimate is ready to be activated. Once again, your ultimate charges up as you use your attacks and abilities throughout the game. At the bottom right, you can see your 2 basic abilities and how much ammo you have left. In Overwatch, ammo is unlimited, so the first number shows how much ammo you have in your current clip, while the second number shows how much ammo a full clip holds. You can press R at any time to reload your weapon. In the middle of the screen, you have your crosshairs for aiming, and you'll see hit markers there if you happen to damage any opponents. Finally, up top, you have the status of the objective on the map and can see what's happening with it. Since that objective decides who wins the game, be sure to pay attention to it. When you press tab, you can see the scoreboard. This will show the characters both teams are playing at the top, as well as indicate if someone is doing well in the form of fire around their portrait. At the bottom, you can see some of your own personal stats to determine how well you're doing in the game. Overwatch as a first-person shooter has several unique gameplay elements that you might not be familiar with. The respawn times are quite fast, but the time it takes to run back into the action is what delays you and makes your death meaningful. Depending at what point you are at in the game, the time it takes to run back to the objective can give an advantage to either the attacking team or the defending team, and does a great job of encouraging comebacks. After dying, you can switch characters by pressing H, and doing so is a big part of the strategy. Throughout a game, pick heroes based off of your team's position and composition, and to counter the enemy team's composition. I recommend learning several heroes so that you can comfortably switch between them based off of your team's needs. However, remember that when you do switch characters, you do lose the charge on your ultimate, and any structure or buffs that you placed on the map get removed, so be careful. Above all else, remember that Overwatch is an objective-focused game. Kills won't mean anything if they don't help you take or defend your objective, so make your plays count and do your best to play as a team with your allies. Sure, kills might help you take the objective, but only if you or your team are positioned to take advantage of them. Since your enemies respawn, they'll be right back to attack or defend. As well, you should try to get a feel for the maps in private games and take some time to fiddle around at least a little bit with every hero so that you can learn what they do. No matter how you end up playing it, Overwatch is an awesome new take on the FPS genre, so good luck and have fun.